Welcome back, my dear students, to another unit in the culture. This unit will be about the multiculture, and we will have a very fantastic and very nice unit today. I hope that all you will understand it. The multicultural society, how it looks like, the aspects, everything about it. So let's go. Uh, Primordial ties like the language, culture, place of birth, we tend to identify ourselves with a particular group. Like as example, I say I am from this area, you are from this area, you are from this is your neighborhood, this is my neighborhood. We also tend to distinguish ourselves from the rest of the population. We try to find out things that make us different than other people. Uh, in thinking, in believing, in our uniforms, whatever. Why do we do this? What's the reason for us to make ourselves different than the others? What benefits does this even for us have for us? What are the benefits when we do this? Does it cause us to be seen different by the rest of the society? The other part of the society will see us different in a different way when we do like that. Social hierarchies. The hierarchies of the society, which means that it's based on order, like ascending or descending order, like exactly what's happening in the army or what's happening in the police. That there's lieutenant, colonel, general, so all those are ranks, and based on their situation and the rank, it comes their own giving orders or receiving orders. Uh, Also, uh, you can watch a video about the Rwanda and the civil war of Rwanda and what happened in Rwanda and why the war in Rwanda. And this is actually a kind of culture conflict because the main reason for the war in Rwanda because it was two great group of peoples and they had their own. Everyone is thinking uh, differently than the other. That's why the war started. This video is just a few minutes of a documentary on the Rwanda's culture conflict war. Okay, and I just want you to go and watch it. Uh, but I just want to see your reaction after you watch this video. What will be your reaction? How you will looks like? Uh, Now I want to ask you a question. Would you think that the culture will be a global aspect? Will be there a global culture for the whole world? Do you think this will happen? I'm just asking you. Do you think this will happen? Uh, like we have a places of the world now, like American Africans, and we have the Africans. Are the same? Is the American Africans exactly a copy of the Africans? Africans do not share an identity or cultural ties to African Americans. Very different identities. Of course, those are living in the States and those are living in Africa. Immigration and refugees movement, all this all create identity crisis. We see transitional identities, political identities, and identities too of struggle. Uh, do you or do you know people who would identify with this? As long as we said that the culture, globalization of culture, then we will talk about the culture is learned, and we know that culture is shared. It's not individual behavior, it's not an individual behavior, and includes both abstract languages, religious, and material elements like architectures, technology. So the culture include all those together. Culture is the social glue that binds people. Very nice expression. It's like a glue which bind the people all together. Culture is dynamic, not static. No, it's moving. It will never be static. Okay. Cultural diversity. Cultural diversity, and this is a very important point, refers to a variation in institutions, languages, customs, beliefs, traditions, and values. So this is the cultural diversity. Uh, Notice that like 13% of the USA foreign born were born not in the United States, were born in other places. 20 of Canadians are foreign born also. However, what is the assimilation? When we talk about the culture, we have to talk about the assimilation. Assimilation refers to the merging of different groups. They are all merging together, coming up together, and their cultures into single common culture. So their own culture will be one, only one culture, like melting pots, like what's happening in the United States, what's happening in Canada. The peoples are coming from every place in the world, living in Canada or in the States, so they melt all in one pot. Exactly like you preparing your food, and you put all your stuff in one pot only. This mixture will make a new culture. Integration refers to adoption of certain ways of life from the host society. Okay, that means if I come to Canada, then I will be acting like the very Canadians, right? Okay. Different ethnic cultures do not simply blend in. Different ethnic cultures do not simply blend in. Aboriginals and Africans. Okay, so it's hard for some people to accept the new cultures which they came for in the host country. It's very hard because they are used to style of life, customs, habits, everything for a long, long time. So it's not that easy. Though I said before that culture can be changed, but it's not that easy to change this culture. As long as they are not a threat to dominant culture. They happened in 1770s of the United States, African American and Hispanics, all gaining momentum in labor force, civil rights movement. That's right. Focus is on tolerance of diversity. What is the pluralism? What do we know about the pluralism? Uh, the pluralism is not you are not alone, you are in a group and you are acting as a part of teamwork, a part of membership in this group. You don't say the word I, you always say the word we. On the other hand, based on Hofstede's model for, for culture, we have the individualism where everyone say I and care about myself. I'm selfish. I like myself only. This is okay. Pluralism means that you tend to live in a family, in a big family. You don't live alone. This is the pluralism. Social groups compete for resources and power. Other thing we want to talk about is the stereotype. What do we mean by stereotype? Simply, if you see or you heard about a thief in one area, then another thief in the same area, then you will think that all the people who come from area are working on vandalism and theftery. No, this is what we call the stereotype. That what you come for the private, you will put it for the public, or you will generalize. You will generalize, assuming strengths and weakness of a particular group. Uh, and sometimes you will say all the people are having these traits as example, or these characteristics. As example, East Indians are very ambitious. Mexican Americans are family orientations. The multiculturalism recognize multiple culture course, a knowledge culture beyond ancestry or nationality, promotes democratization among groups, the multiculturalism, because it's more than one culture all together in the same spot. Uh, any culture is having the needs of belonging. Uh, yes, today in a world that is moving like we call it the world, the village, which is globalization, means by other meaning, the world become like a small village. Don't you think that there will be a multiculturalism? Of course, there will be, because, like, see here in Canada as example, or see in the States, the whole people are coming to work from different places and immigrate and live in one piece of the land where all other nations are living. So here is a multiculturalism. Okay. Uh, so you see a diversity when you go even to a supermarket or whatever. When you see here in the big stores, you will find diversity from the products from everywhere in the world, all in one place. Uh, so multiculturalism affinity groups. What is the case or the issue of the affinity groups? The affinity groups, the common thread of identity for culturally defined groups. These groups rival biological family, neighborhoods for importance or influences, powerful and rival unions, political parties, religious affiliations, seen as the nursery of human nature. Okay, often have emerged for subcultures from subcultures. Examples meetup. You can see some examples for it here. Now let's go to another subject. Is very important, which is what is the subculture? We know culture means the main, sub means the branch. The sub always means a branch of the main. A group that is part of the dominant culture, okay? Yet clearly differentiate themselves from the dominant culture. That's fine. For many reasons, in many ways. They exist within mainstream culture. So they are there and they are came out of one culture, okay, divided into subcultures. It is less always than the dominant culture because subcultures will be small, will be minor. Can you give me an examples of subcultures, even from back home or whatever? Okay, many academics prefer the term co-cultures. They prefer to say instead of subcultures, say co-cultures. Uh, connotes a standard of unity because co means that they are cooperating together, but sub give the meaning that they are all different cultures, like fighting, struggling in one place, though they are not. But the word co-culture means that they come together. What about the word counterculture? What do you mean by counterculture? Group that tends to react against resists. the directive of the dominant culture. So they resist the dominant culture. They don't accept it so easily. Most often, to elicit some change, shifts in thinking, they need to change ways of thinking in the culture, causes the culture pendulum to swing in the other direction. So, because they want to, because they are arguing some changes, they might lead part of this culture to another extreme or another direction. Countercultures openly oppose the dominant culture. It's the opposite of the dominant culture. Actively seeks to change the dominant culture. Uh, you can go for some examples for the countercultures. We said one of the sources of the culture is the economic, and the politics are things which is a component or a pillar of the culture. So identity politics refers to beliefs, behaviors, and actions of culturally diverse groups. Power of culture to transform society. Identity politics threaten the conventional nation states because they are minorities. They are minorities. Mobilizing agents. Now we will move into the final part of this lecture today about the multicultural paradox. It refers to the interplay between the homogeneity, means similars, heterogeneity, biological and social similarities of a group, and heterogeneity, biological and social differences in a group. So the first, what we share together, biologically and social, the similar points in us is homogeneity, but heterogeneity is the differences of a group. I came to the end of this class today we talk about the culture, we talk about subculture, what the meaning of counterculture, what the meaning of subcultures. We talk about the global, if there is an kind of imagination that there will be a global culture, but there are universally accepted culture as well. So till I see you back, I wish you a very good night. Try to remember what we talk about today and see you again. Bye bye.